Salute, 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 everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody's having a blessed weekend. I know it's warm. I got the window up behind me for sure. It is so warm. I was like, is the heat off? And Shank said yes. So, yeah, it's beautiful outside. So, if it's warm where you are, stay bundled up because it's still wintertime. You know what I'm saying? We've seen so many people with shorts on this weekend. It was unbelievable. I was like, not shorts. And I'm guilty too. I had my jacket, but I didn't wear it. I really didn't. It was so nice outside. I was like, I ain't doing the shorts, but I will definitely keep the jacket off because it was that hot. I don't know what's happening. But if you are going outside today, stay bundled up. We know it's flu season. They said super flu and stuff. I don't want anybody getting sick, you know what I'm saying, after the holidays and stuff and going to work, got to call off of work, miss their money and stuff like that. And I hope everybody had a good holidays for the people I didn't get to see. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, research, and educational purposes. Hey, Capricorn, thank you, Goddess. Hey, Barbie, what's going on, sisters? Hey, Peanut. I just stick in your season. Stick with your season. Hey, sweet honey. Hey, Stephanie. Um, Let me get this off. So earlier today, I watched Wicked. I watched Wicked, and I love the message. If you guys get a chance to take the kids to the movies, I like Wicked. Hey, Alicia, and the message was that she was called the Wicked Witch of the West, but the message was as much good as she was trying to do. Everybody always saw the bad in her without getting to know her, without getting the message of what she was trying to do. Hey, Bernice, what's going on? Happy holidays. Yes, love you always too, Miss Bernice. Hey, Tammy C. But that was the message in the movie. As good as she always try to do, even with us. And I love how they incorporated that because we know she's like as much. Hey, honey, 5K. What up, sis? As much good as you try to do in this world, not as good. Some part of you bad forever. For whatever reason. I love movie, loved it. Hey SC, hey man, happy Saturday to you guys, man, and I hope you guys have a blessed 2026. Before we get into the 2026, um, the title of this is Let's Remember These Names. A loss of a loved one never gets easy. Hey, Miss Jazzy, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you guys. I've took a few days off just to kind of regroup and really, really sit down and say, where do I want my 26 to look like? What do I want it to look like? Hey, Alma says, it's the damn if you do, damn if you do. Yeah, it's always the damn if you don't, and damn what you, yeah, whatever, Alicia. What you said, Alicia. You know what I'm saying? Damn if you don't, damn if you do. And stuff. And that's what my 2026 is definitely. If people see bad in me or just still crying who I was in 2026, not giving me a chance, I'm not going to hold that against people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not holding nothing against people. I'm not crying nothing from my 2025 into 2026. Out with the old, in with the new. I'm so ready for new beginnings and stuff. Hi, I'm Tara Francis. My brother' death date is coming up 1/9, and it never gets easy. And a lot of times with us, a lot of people are still carrying grief. A lot of people are not able to manage everyday life of missing their loved one. And hey, Tracy SCM, what's going on, Miss Jazzy? Happy holidays to you guys and happy Saturday. Um, it never gets easy for a lot of people. And okay, Alma, for sure, sis. I wanted to share some of these stories. And not all the stories are about loss, but a lot of times with us, melanated people, our stories don't make it worldwide. And a lot of these families don't have their voice where they're grieving, where they're still stuck with no answers. Nobody in the community stepping up to give them anything. Police withholding information, leaving the family out in the cold, where some of their kids was left out in the cold by a friend, a family member, a op, you know, absolutely out with the old. I'm done with the Hatfields and the McCoys. Absolutely. She said it definitely doesn't get easier. It doesn't. So I wanted to take the time to some of the stories that I've endured and stuff like that. And one thing I want to say about you guys out here in these chats, and this goes to every content creators chat that shares a story about a loss of a loved one. Hey Noel, happy Saturday, happy holidays to you. Miss Loki, happy holidays to you. These people once had a heartbeat, just like us, and their lives was abruptly taken due to envy, jealousy, evilness, just pure hate crimes. No thoughts behind it. So many kids we've lost with no thoughts, no cares. I started with my baby Kimani Latig. She's one. Janiyah McMichael Rogers is another story that we'll never forget. Naziah Harris, her story will never be forgotten. Kata Scott, Frazier Baker, their stories will never be forgotten. Romika Meeks. But for the families, the grief will go on for the rest of their lives while everybody gets to go live their best life and love on their children. These families won't. And these stories in 2025 have been so horrific. For us, it's still people out there that stories never made the headline, story never made the news, stories never hit our chat. So I want to share some of these stories, and I also want to share some stories of sexual assault as well, and how these women and these men have used their voices to continue to go on with life in their prayers to the Most High that, you know, they're able to use their voice to conquer their trauma and hopefully help someone else. So these are the names that I want to remember. And I appreciate you guys for showing so much empathy and sympathy throughout all of these stories that we share with you guys. Melody Buzzard, and others. Celeste T story with David, who is still unsolved. And I know sometimes these families think that they're alone, and I just want them to know that they are not alone. The first one I want you guys to remember is Kendrick Johnson. Kendrick Johnson was 17 when he was found dead inside of a rolled up wrestling mat at his high school. Investigators determined that Kendrick likely entered the upright mat to retrieve shoes, become trapped upside down, and died from positional asphyxia. His death was ruled an accident within a day. His family has never accepted that explanation. They questioned the speed of the investigation, raised concerns about evidence handling and surveillance gaps, and pushed for multiple reviews. Independent autopsies and federal investigations followed, but none produced evidence of homicide. No suspects were charged. No physical evidence linked anyone else to his death. Today, Kendrick Johnson's case remains officially classified as an accident, yet emotional, unresolved for many who continue to question how and why it happened. Prayers to Kendrick Johnson's family. That is one of those stories that will never leave our minds of what happened. Hey, Latasha Jackson, happy Saturday. About the 13-year-old girl unalived in Goldsboro, North Carolina. The father of the Pow Pow boy did alive. It's so sad. I sent it to Shane. Okay, I'll get it, SP. Hey, Time Warrior. She said that story still doesn't make sense. In a day, the same way they done young Trey Reed. And shout out to Colin Kaepernick for that second autopsy with Trey Reed to determine that our justice system isn't shit for our melanated people. To have our own come to the forefront and say that he did this to himself only for a second autopsy to show this family different. And I hope that death in 2026 doesn't continue to cause division, but a time to come together for people to seek the real answers and for us not to be an exception of greed and money, but for justice. And this family wanted justice that they still haven't received. They did this case so wrong. They need to explain the bruises then. There were deleted videos of the times that the boys was in the gym. I never believed the lies. They definitely said it was gaps in his it was definitely gaps in the video footage and stuff. But I want to take this time out to remember Kendrick Johnson. Our justice system was designed for all, just not us. Absolutely. I want to take this time out to also remember 10-year-old Egypt Henderson in South Carolina. She was beaten at 17 months old and fought to live for 9 more years. He will never be charged. The death of 10-year-old Egypt Henderson, South Carolina, February 2024. Her name was Egypt Henderson. Her life was marked by unimaginable suffering and extraordinary endurance. At just 17 months old, Egypt was beaten by her father, Joseph Morales, because she would not stop crying. The 2015 assault caused catastrophic brain injuries that left her with cerebral palsy, epilepsy, blindness, and a hip dysplasia. She was nonverbal and confined to a wheelchair and dependent on feeding tubes. Doctors did not believe that she would survive. She lived for 9 more years. In 2016, Joseph Morales pleaded guilty to inflicting injury on a child and was sentenced to 18 years in prison. He is scheduled for release in 2030. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Got a little emotional reading about her. Her story stuck with me. In February 2024, Egypt died at the age of 10. Her official cause of death was pneumonia, listed as complications of the injuries she suffered as a toddler. Her family, the Hendersons Morales family, honored her life with a parade and a balloon release on what would have been her 12th birthday in September of 2025. After her death, authorities announced that Morales could not be charged with murder under South Carolina law, which prevents homicide prosecution if a victim dies more than 3 years after the initial injury. Egypt's mother, Kaya Jackson, has since been advocating for legal reform known as Egypt's Law. She has erected billboards to raise awareness about shaken baby syndrome and is pushing to have the street where Egypt lived renamed in her honor. How many victims are denied justice because of laws that protect perpetrators instead of children? How many lives must be lost before accountability laws are changed? Egypt Henderson could not speak, but her life and death continues to demand change. I want to remember Egypt Henderson. His release date is in 4 years, 5 years? And he's not going to be charged for all the pain inflicted upon Egypt. I'm so proud of her mother. Kaya Jackson for continuing to fight for Egypt in honor of her name, advocating with the billboards in the street to honor her child and what she meant to not just the family but to the world, meaning any child that has endured anything like her. So I appreciate Kaya Jackson for her utmost dedication to remembering her daughter. I also want to keep Krishanda Hatter in our prayers. Continuous prayers for her kids and herself. Krishanda is the 33-year-old that got jumped by the students after school. After a month-long investigation, CPD has decided to charge 7 minors involved. 3 10-year-old boys, a 10-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, a 12-year-old boy, and a 13-year-old girl with battery. Chicago police and the Cook County prosecutor's office have announced charges against 7, including a teen, with assault of a mother and her son last month. 33-year-old Krishanda Hatter had picked up her daughter and 9-year-old son from Bright Elementary School when they were followed and brutally attacked by a large group of children. Continuous prayers, Krishanda, for you and your children. I hope all the resources are able to help you guys overcome the trauma that you had to endure being innocent and walking your children home from school, and coming under such an attack as they did was so horrific. And it was also to show us that the world we're living in is so evil. It's so evil. And it makes you feel so unsafe and so unsure of what our future really looks like with our children, our grandchildren, our great grandchildren, our cousins, and so many more. I hate that this family had to endure such horrific things in 2025. I also want to remember Billy, the 8-year-old boy in Alabama who lost his life in an apartment fire. His sister, Jaslyn, did make it, but she's still in the hospital fighting for her life. So I want y'all to keep this family in prayers. Victim identified in the early morning apartment in Alabama, 8-year-old Billy and 9-year-old Jaslyn. The little boy did not make it. The daughter is in the hospital. The father was the only one who made it out. The mother got off work and the apartment was bursting in flames, praying for the parents. Both of the kids' birthdays was just last month. And the top of all of this, the mom is pregnant at the moment. We're going into the holiday season and you're just, being a good mother. You're going to work, you're trying to make ends meet. Kids just got over, yes, Wardrick, evil, mean, and bad now. And you just want everything to work out to the best of your ability. Get them a couple of things for Christmas that you can't afford and just have a life. Because everybody's not capable of living in houses. Some of us live by all means necessary. And sometimes you don't know your neighbors. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen when it comes to living in apartments. But to come home from work and to know your babies are in an apartment building, I want you guys to see the flames. No answers, not knowing if your kids are safe, nothing. That's what Billy, 8 years old, lost his life to. And I don't have any updates of what caused the fire. I still want to look into it and things like that. But I'm praying for that mother. Um, to watch the videos of her screaming and crying out. And here's a picture of Billy, guys. So handsome. So handsome. And this is his sister, Jaslyn, who's fighting in the hospital for her life. And these kind of scars will never go away. They're there for life. Life. It's not a bad day at work or anything. No. Mm-mm. This is kids gone forever. This is something that a mother will never forget. Getting off work, watching her apartment burst into flames, not knowing. Even the ambulance not letting her go with her child in the back of the ambulance, shooing her away like a fly. Let's not forget the mothers that went into labor that was dismissed with no care in the world. Again, it screams, what does the future of our melanated people really look like? Do we get better? Do we have people fighting for all, not just some? Not for the payout of it, but do we really have people fighting for us? It's real sad. Precious innocent babies, absolutely, Brand. Miss Loki, exactly. Wow. Hey, Yolanda, happy Saturday. They were so handsome. Hold on, guys. Sorry. We cannot forget my girl, Shanquilla Robinson. The tragic death of Shanquilla Robinson, a mystery in Mexico. On October 28, 2022, 25-year-old Shanquilla Robinson, a successful businesswoman from Charlotte, North Carolina, embarked on a trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, with a group of 6 friends. And I hate when they say friends, but that's the last thing she known these people to be before she left and during her trip until the last day of her life. The purpose of the trip was to celebrate a birthday. However, within 24 hours of arriving, Shanquilla was dead. The events surrounding her death would quickly raise troubling questions. Her traveling companions initially called Shanquilla's mother, claiming that she had died from alcohol poisoning. The explanation seemed suspicious from the start. There were no signs of struggle or prior health issues, but the friends' behavior only added to the confusion. They quickly returned to the U.S., leaving behind Shanquilla's body in Mexico without offering a clear or credible explanation of her death. The circumstances surrounding her death became even more mysterious when a disturbing video surfaced online. In it, Shanquilla was seen being physically attacked by one of her friends in a hotel room. The footage contradicted the claim of alcohol poisoning and led many to suspect foul play. As investigations unfolded, it was revealed that there were discrepancies in the story told by Shanquilla's friends, and authorities began to suspect that her death may have been the result of a violent altercation rather than a simple accident. The case sparked public outrage and led to increased scrutiny of her travel companion's actions. Shanquilla Robinson's tragic death has become a symbol of the danger that can lurk behind what should have been a celebratory trip with friends. Her family and the public continue to demand justice as the investigation into the cause of her death remains ongoing. The case highlights the need for accountability, especially when the trust between friends is broken and lives are lost under suspicious circumstances. I want to shout out Miss Salamandra and Quilla for allowing me, Shank Rock, the Rock Squad, and one of my riders this year, to be a part of Shanquilla's birthday celebration. Her when I say celebration, because we are now in a federal court. So let me reword what I'm saying. Thank you guys for allowing us to be there on the day that Shanquilla took her last breath, and the day that you laid her to rest. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. Thank you for allowing us to be in Washington, D.C. with you guys. The pink envelope release. This is Shank's actual third meet and greet for the Rock Squad for Shanquilla Robinson. So shout out to Shank Rock for keeping that going to give hope to families and stuff that for one, that they are not alone in this fight for answers and justice of their loved ones. And it brought another person out to the cemetery that is going through the same thing. And she felt so good to be in a community of people that valued the same thing she did, and that was getting justice. No, we don't have anyone looking out for us. We have to look out for each other. The village needs to return back to the people of color. Absolutely, Latasha. Absolutely. She said the sadness is overwhelming. That's really sad. And for these people to call Miss Salamandra the way that they did, and Khalil even came and sat, knocked on her door, and lied to her face. And this is someone that Shanquilla shared not only her dreams and admirations, but her business with Khalil, thinking he was her best friend. And as her best friend sat across from her mother, he lied about everything that happened in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, to his so-called best friend. People wear sheep's clothing all the time. And sometimes you just don't know. That's what makes it scary. That you'll take somebody out on a trip, they'll sit amongst you and your family and show that day how envious he was. After her giving him a piece of her business, it wasn't good enough for him. Taking him on trips, inviting him and welcoming him with open arms into her family, and they did the same. Only for them to take her life and videotape it and show the world what really happened to her. I want to share this story to let you guys know if you've ever been SA'd, sexually assaulted, raped, or anything, that you are not alone. I know sometimes it gets hard. It does for me. Therapy helps, but it doesn't take away when those memories hit. So I so applaud this young lady for having the strength and the courage to tell her story and to hopefully help other women and children that's going through anything like this. She said, I was 4 when I was sexually abused by an older cousin. He abused me multiple times. It would always happen when we had family functions or if we would be outside playing. I guess it was easier to be overlooked that way. I remember it hurting so bad. Sometimes he would cover my mouth to keep me from screaming out. I hated to see him coming. He would bribe me with candy and would tell me not to say anything or he wouldn't give me any more candy. I really don't know why I never said anything. It took a while for me to not beat myself up about it. The crazy part is, he had a girlfriend. He was old. They both were. I remember his private area smelled so bad sometimes. He would force me to put my mouth on him, and I would get so sick. It took a while for the truth to come out. God has a way of making things come to light. One day, my mom was taking us on a trip, and she wanted us to use the restroom. My private area was so sore, but for some reason, I never told my mom. I think a part of me didn't tell because I knew it was wrong, but I also didn't want to get in trouble. Anyway, as I was using the restroom, my mom was fixing her hair. She got ready to wipe me, and that's when she noticed something wrong. My private area was raw, and she could barely wipe me. My mom took me to the hospital, and I just remember screaming and crying. I was so scared. I didn't want my mom to leave me. I didn't want the nurses to examine me down there. The pain was too much, and so was having so many eyes on me. After all of the crying, the nurses did test on me, and it came back that he had given me syphilis. The disease was in its early stages, so that's what led to DCFS being brought into the home. Ultimately, my siblings and I were taken away from our mom, and I had to get blood work done every 6 months for 2 years. I think to make sure that my bloodstream was clear of everything. I spent my entire life in foster care, only one foster home, but away from my biological family. Yes, my mom had a part to play as well, but had my cousin not been so disgusting, we wouldn't have had to go through all of this. When I graduated from school before college, I remember going back home. He never apologized for anything he did. My heart went out to my mom because how do you function when all of your kids was taken from you? My mom was on drugs, but she told me she felt she had no support. I mean, can you imagine the brokenness, the shame of having to look at your kids' clothes, but you have no kids? Insane. Hashtag tell somebody. You can help a child protect themselves from abusers by gifting them a free Tell Somebody book. Child abusers, please stop and seek therapy and God. Parents, talk with and believe your children. Survivors, seek therapy. I'm so proud of her for sharing her story. She's so beautiful. I'm glad that God gave her the strength to use her voice to help others be able to tell somebody. This world we live in is so wicked, so evil. And I love how she incorporated that her mother was on drugs and that she played a part in it too, meaning that the drug abuse clouded her judgment on seeing the red flags, her daughter being sore and, just paying attention to our children, the differences in the way they walk and so many other things that was going on, their panties and stuff, just being a mother. This is another one. I'm so proud of her and her story. I love her story. Um, See something, say something, and it's okay to tell somebody. It's okay. Hey, JS, salute. I was 3 when my father started sexually abusing me. Growing up in a two-parent household where a father is supposed to be the protector, model respect, influence, self-esteem, confidence, emotional support, and shaping the daughter's perception of herself and her place in this world, mine was busy violating me and taking my innocence. My mother was on her way to Bible study when she left me home with him. I remember crying, "Mom, don't leave me." After she was gone, my father placed me against the wall and he put his private in my mouth. There were many days like this. In our backyard, we had a tool shed where he would have sex with me. He always come in my room where I had no doorknob. She said no door, no knob, and he would grape me. I was so afraid of him. He'd do anything and everything to me and ask me if I liked it. I was so confused about what it was that I was supposed to like. I never told because he said if I did, he would whoop me. The abuse lasted years. I was afraid to go into my room, and I always wondered where my mother was. Whole time, she was sleeping down in the den. I found out my dad was messing with my brother as well. I overheard him talking to my mother, and she asked me if it was going on with me too. I lied and I said no. The next night, I sat on the floor singing gospel music when my dad came in my room and abused me one last time. This time, I told my mother. She asked me how many times has he abused me. I told her 100. My brother and I were taken to the police station and given dolls to show what our dad was doing to us. When they questioned my dad, he lied and told them that my brother and I would look at his adult DVDs and I was messing with the little boy across the street. We were removed from the house and put into a shelter. Months passed and we moved back in with dad for a while. We weren't touched. On my 12th birthday, my dad asked me, when you get older, will you still let me do it to you? I said no, but strangely, I kept a father-daughter relationship. But that's the type of heart I have. I've given my life to Christ, so I'm able to show godly love for him despite the evil he's done. I grew up dating older guys and gave my body away to many boys thinking that's what I was supposed to do. I slept around for love and acceptance. My mom told me that we didn't have a relationship because of my dad. I thought to myself, it wasn't my fault. I was innocent. I asked God why me many days. I'm 48 now, and I wrote a book called Life Behind Imaginary Doors, available on Amazon. So if anybody would like to check her book out, it's called Life Behind Imaginary Doors. It still hurts. My parents are no longer here, but I did get to talk to my dad about the abuse. He said he was sorry for whatever he did, denying that it happened for years. On his deathbed, I attempted to lead him to Christ, but he was no longer coherent. I tried anyways, and he nodded his head. Don't be afraid to speak up. If you or anyone else is going through what I had to endure, my story still haunts me from time to time and has impacted my life in so many ways. I still suffer silently, but I'm stronger now and I'm an overcomer. He can no longer hurt me. I love that she took her story and was able to put it in a book. And I love how she also said how she still suffers silently because we do. As victims of SA assault, we suffered. Those memories do come back. For years, people try to hide them, put them way in the bag, tuck it away, but it doesn't work like that. But with the grace of God and enduring faith and keeping your faith and never losing hope, and how she asked God, why me? I always ask that, like, why me? She never got her justice. And prayers to her and her brother. Um, I hope he got the help that he needs. I love how she was able to forgive her father despite everything he done to her. And how she was able to, on his deathbed, to still try to bring him closer to something that helped her, and that was Christ. that helped her get through her trauma of things. I love that for her. I'm gonna get Life Behind Imaginary Doors. I'm going to get her book. I think it's gonna be a special read for me and others that because it sometimes it's good to kind of go and get those kind of books, and it shows that you're not alone, even if you never said anything and you was able um to kind of forget and stuff, I just want you guys to be reminded that we are not alone, and it's okay to speak up, and it's okay to forgive if that's where you are in your life. This is another story that I came across, and I kind of wanted to dig into it, but then I thought it was so many twists and turns. I was gonna be at a dead end. A deadly web of violence, four lives, one neighborhood, and questions that still haunt. The murders and disappearances of four Chicago Lawn residents. This happened in Chicago Lawn, Chicago, Illinois, from 2016 through 2017. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why I'm yawning, but Kenshawn Ward, Shantae Bohannon, Joanna Wright, and Mario Marlo Gully all lived in the Chicago Lawn neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. They knew each other. Their lives became tragically connected through a series of killings and disappearances that unfolded over just 15 months. Kenshawn Ward was 21 years old. Shantae was 20. The two were dating. Joanna Wright, 33, and Mario Marlo Gully, were 26, were friends. All four was a part of the same neighborhood circle. On July 13, 2016, Kenshawn Ward was shot multiple times in Marquette Park. He later died from his injuries. No arrests were announced in connections with his killings. Just 11 days later, on July the 24th, 2016, Shantae Bohannon disappeared. Her parents reported her missing when she failed to return home near Marquette Park. Days later, her body was found inside of a garbage can in an abandoned garbage. She was 20 years old. Then on December 18th, 2016, Joanna Wright was abducted in broad daylight. A witness reported seeing three men force her into a vehicle on the 6400 block of Washtenaw Avenue between Tallman Avenue and Rockwell Avenue. The witnesses say Joanna was screaming for help and fighting back as the men overpowered her and drove off in a new blue Mazda with Ohio license plates. Joanna Wright has never been found. She was 5 feet 2 inches and weighed 100 pounds when she vanished. Less than a year later, October 9, 2017, Mario Marlo Gully disappeared. He was last seen around midnight near 64th Street and Campbell Avenue. His pregnant girlfriend was expecting him to attend a sonogram appointment with her when he never did show up. She reported him missing. Mario Gully has never been located. He was 6 feet 1 inches and weighed approximately 225 pounds at the time he vanished. Four people, one neighborhood, two murders, and two disappearances, all connected, yet no one has been held accountable. Who knows what linked these crimes and why the violence continued unchecked? Who has information that can finally connect the dots and bring answers to the families that's still waiting? These was all friends. Two ended up murdered, and two disappeared with no trace left behind. I knew getting into that um, would be crazy work. It was gonna send me down a rabbit hole. This is another name I don't want to forget in 2025. They only found her legs, and her mother is still waiting for answers. The disappearance of Candace Taylor, Columbus, Ohio, 2017. Candace Taylor was 21 years old when her life quietly unraveled, leaving behind fragments, silence, and a mother still searching for the truth. Candace lived at 4900 Chattanooga Road in Columbus, Ohio, with her boyfriend, Roberto Cruz Rivera. She was close with her mother, Theodora Taylor. They spoke regularly. Their bond was strong. The last time Theodora actually spoke to her daughter was March 2017. Not long after the communication changed, instead of phone calls, there were text messages. One message stunned her mother. Candace said she was pregnant and moving to Cincinnati and needed a break from everybody to clear her thoughts. The final message came June 24th, 2017. It was Candace's birthday. Her mother wished her a happy birthday. Candace replied with one word, thanks. This was the last time Theodora Taylor ever heard from her daughter. During the week of March 28th, 2017, something horrifying surfaced. Long before the family knew the truth, at a recycling at a recycling plant in South Columbus, workers discovered a pair of human legs. She said, "Wow, that's down the street from me." Yeah. At the recycling plant in South Columbus, workers discovered a pair of human legs. The remains were wearing fur just fab boots, size 9.5. Investigators conducted an extensive search of the area, but found no additional remains, no identifying items, and no clear explanation for how they got there. The case went cold. Then in January 2019, nearly 2 years later, detectives contacted Theodora Taylor. The DNA from the legs found in March 2017 matched her daughter's, Candace Taylor. That was all they had, was the missing legs. No arrest, no suspect publicly named. No remaining parts of Candace's body was ever located. Only legs, only silence, only a mother left with questions no one has answered. Candace Taylor's disappearance remains unsolved. I want to remember Candace Taylor. Miss Theodora, if you're still out there, prayers to you. That is so sad. It said her life was more than fragments. Her story is unfinished. Her name still deserves answers. And yes, Candace's name definitely um, stands unfinished. Her story is unfinished, and her mother definitely deserves answers. That is a horrible, horrible man. It shows you how cruel and evil this world is. Imagine the workers, praying for the workers that, you just working at a recycling center and never thinking on the line. I worked at a recycling center. And to think that a pair of legs with the boots still attached are going to be on anything human form is going to be on my line when it comes down. They didn't say what happened to the boyfriend, guys. They said no suspects. And that's a good question. What happened to the boyfriend? Why wasn't he a suspect? You know? And that she stopped receiving calls and only got texts. That's a red flag, too. And as a mother, I'm going to get concerned and go look for my child. Because I know how my kids is. My kids don't text me. My kids call me. Now they'll send me videos of the kids and, hey mom, I just wanted, we was at the pumpkin patch, or like they did their Christmas, pictures like that. I'll get that. But I won't get a text like, what you doing? They call me. So if my kids randomly text me and then it just starts slowing down with communication, it's not going to be months or anything before I check. And she was pregnant. Yes. I got to dig deep in this one, sis. Please send it to me. Okay, guys, I'll definitely send this one to you. That's what I do. Sometimes I just be in here on my thing and I'll look into these stories. And her name is Candace Taylor, Goddess, and it happened out of Columbus, Ohio. Because to me right now, I'm thinking he was texting the mom the whole time. That's what I'm thinking too, Goddess. Definitely a thinking that because she said it went from, because she said the last time her daughter actually spoke to her was March 2017. The last text she got was June 24th, 2017. And if we don't know nothing else, and I know my relationship with my children, I know my kids ain't going long. My kids ain't going a week without talking to me. Uh-uh. As if they don't call every other day, but my kids is not going a week without talking to me. These are facts. My mama ain't text, she's calling, and I mean until I ain't. You hear me, Latasha? Her and the baby are gone, shaking my head. Hey, Curl Cotton, happy holidays to you and happy Saturday. Yeah, the girl and the baby, they're gone. I want to go back a little bit in time. So often do we think things like this happen, like this just started happening, but this happened in 1955. Um, He was 16 years old, unarmed, and walking home. May 1955, Gregg County, Texas. John Earl Reese had just left a dance with friends. It was late, and he was heading home along a country road, laughing, talking, doing nothing out of the ordinary. A white man named Charles Nutt Wilson drove past and thought John looked suspicious. That was enough. Wilson returned with a pow pow. Without warning, without threat, he fired. The bullet struck John Earl Reese in the chest. The teenager collapsed on the roadside. John died where he fell. He was only 16 years old. There was no weapon, no crime, no reason. Wilson was arrested and charged with murder. At trial, he claimed he thought John was a burglar. The jury accepted the excuse, and he was acquitted. John Earl Reese's death sparked outrage. His family refused to stay silent. Civil rights leaders took notice. The case became one of many that exposed how easily black lives could be taken and how rarely justice followed. John never got to grow up. He never got to finish school. And he never got to live the life ahead of him. But his name remained. A reminder how a reminder of how young some victims were and how much was stolen in a single moment. That story stuck with me because this has been happening to us for a long time. I want y'all to listen to what the civil rights leader said. The case became one of many that exposed how easily black lives could be taken and how rarely justice followed. Hey T Bay, happy Saturday, happy holiday seasons. And how rarely justice followed. And ain't that something that we seeing so often? We're still seeing this today. This was 1955. Now y'all go back and tell me how many years that was. 1955. And still today, how rarely justice is followed for my melanated people. I want to keep John Earl Reese's name forever in our prayers and forever be a voice for him as well. Hey Erica, happy Saturday. Hey Rishi, happy Saturday. She said, I just lost my mama. Y'all put some prayer hands in the chat for Rishi, please. I'm so sorry for your loss, Rishi. Hey, Muse. Happy Saturday. Happy holidays, love. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I hate that I'm doing this today, but we're praying that we make it. We still got days away from the New Year's. People are counting down, already making New Year's resolutions, and I'm trying to make it today. It's so much I want to do, but it's so, so much I want to live for today. Versus, why do I gotta wait a year to do anything when I got time now? Because time is not on nobody's side. It's not. And for some, a loss of a loved one never gets easy. So while I'm planning, somebody's grieving. While we're planning, somebody's losing their life for evil reasons, for unexpected reasons. It's a child being essayed right now by a family member while I'm planning. Hey, Vixie, happy Saturday. So, my plan today was to remember these names that a justice system closed the book on. We are the only ones that could be the voice for our melanated people's stories, to keep their names alive, to show how broken the system is when it comes to our melanated people. How we have to stop talking about who's not there and what we're going to do. What are we going to do to try to change this? We can't always wait on Ben Crump to come and pick up our stories. And shout out to Ben Crump, awesome guy. Met him in Washington, D.C. But we have to start making a difference. We have to start standing with these families. We have to continue to be a voice and share these stories out. And ask questions. Why was that mother just giving her daughter's legs? Are y'all serious? Hey, we found her legs, but no suspects. We didn't find other parts of her body. The unthinkable. The thoughts that's running through my head are like, what? So while I'm over here planning and thinking about, oh, what fun 2026 needs to be, somebody's still thinking of just receiving their daughter's legs, no answers. My niece lost her granny Christmas Eve, her last granny. Praying for her on my birthday at that. Praying for your family, T-Bay. Praying for your family. T-Bay said, I just want to get through the day. You hear me? That's it. That's it. Think about all the stories we've covered over here. All the stories that y'all have heard throughout the YouTube algorithm. And how these children don't get the plan the rest of their lives. They didn't even get the live a life because it was stolen, their innocence taken. Kimani's. What did Kimani Latique do to where she had to have her head and her hands cut off at 13 years old? Why couldn't Kimani live out her dreams of being a great basketball star, something that she loved to do? Why couldn't 13-year-old Janiyah McMichael Rogers, what did she do to be essayed by her auntie's baby's father? At 13, to be missing, what did she do wrong? She can't plan her life. Her father won't be able to see her go to prom, walk her down the aisle to get married. Naziah Harris, 13. Could have been the next big fashion designer of her time. But the selfishness of her auntie being insecure, jealous, and evil caused so much trauma in Naziah's and so many other children's lives, his own children. Pregnant, no stability in the home, nobody to talk to, nobody guiding her on how to be a mother. What did she do so wrong? Nothing. Her life is gone. Romika Meeks, taking her son to school, doing what any real mother would want to see their baby, especially a black son in Chicago, make it, strive to be better, to better himself every day, and due to having a baby father who cared nothing about nobody but himself, standing along another woman who's in the same position as Romika. Take her life. Take her life. And fist pump about the achievement of taking Romika's life so abruptly. Now, the world wants us to go against each other with having an opinion of a life being taken. And what's crazy is because nobody deserves their life to be taken, even over words. Because I've always felt like if you can't stand the heat, shut the fuck up. And that's just my motto. If I can't take what somebody's dishing out at me, I need to be quiet altogether. I do. And sometimes I just fall back into silence and let you shack the food. Because I like people to see what it is for real sometimes. To show that it's not me. Her life is taken. Only for the last thing for her son to have is a letter of how proud she is of him and how good she wanted him to be in life. Senseless acts of beautiful lives that were stolen They catch killing in California girl about the trial. Shaking my head in the holidays I passed and they couldn't even enjoy life. Mm-mm. Kata Scott. Another thing we have to stop doing, and I hope they stop doing, we stop allowing them to bring up the past of our loved ones. I don't give a fuck what my daughter's out there doing. Nobody deserves to take her life. I don't care if she slept with 3 guys in one night. What the fuck did that have to do with my daughter's life being taken? Because that's the first thing they want to do when it comes to our people. It goes all the way back to George Floyd and more. Mike Brown, don't forget, he was selling single cigarettes. What did that have to do with the police taking his life? We're not going to excuse and deflect and use what they was doing on how their life got taken. Well, George Floyd, he was on drugs. What did that have to do with the police with his knee in his neck? Nothing. But the first thing we do is want to feed into it. We feed into it versus standing up and saying, I don't care about that. Why was his life taken is what I care about. While people dancing and singing boots on the ground, ain't no boots on the ground. Facts, true. Hey, Corey Boo, exactly. At the hands of family. Mm-hmm. He said black communities need justice now in America. Kiki said yes, and I said exactly. The black man on the rail train. The people on the rail train should come forward. All colors. I don't care if you're Chinese. But they took him to jail. When the guy that took him was an immigrant who was wanted, who was drunk and went on a hiatus of he was going to take a life. So the black guy tussled with him on this rail trying to get this knife away from him. He got the knife out of the immigrant's hands. He took the stabbing. He almost took his life. Because don't forget poor Irina. See, we got to quit looking at it like she's not from here. She's a Russian. It doesn't matter. Look at his extent of his record. 48 or more convictions. That could have been my daughter on that rail train that night. It was crazy to me how many people got up and walked off while she was bleeding to death. Nobody checked on Irene. What a cold world we live in. Nobody checked on her. But the black guy that wanted to be the hero that got stabbed up, first thing they bought up was his domestic. He just had a domestic dispute. What did that have to do with what happened on the rail train? I only care about why the loss of life. Absolutely, Latasha. I noticed that when they are white, they want to dig deeper into the life, even if they take a life. But when it comes to us, they want to defame us. We on trial for our own stuff. Yes, Kiki. Every time. Not to mention, he got away. Yeah. These men, Fraser Baker, that man had no business being out. He had multiple assault charges and an attempted murder charge. Y'all notice how it always takes somebody's life to be taken? Like Kata's. Keon had to take another life in the same kind of way. that he attempted to do. And then they want to bring up, now they want to bring up what he did prior to. Now they want to bring up what happened to the young lady prior to Kata getting unalive. Like, that's what I got a problem with. I'm shaking my head. The world needs to lock down on people that have certain patterns and issues when they have children or just around people in general. Yes, she said evil, crazy, selfish. Vixie, you heard me? Absolutely. Agree 100%. Agree 100%. Remember these names. And there's so many more that I want to remember before 2025 is out, to let their families know that they're not alone. And I want to be a voice to say, I remember their names. And let's remember the names, and remember, a loss of a loved one never gets easy. And I need you guys to pull up with me tomorrow night at 8. I'm having Bree on the show because I said, Bree, I need help with this case. I want Bree to come and do a reading on the Melody Buzzard case and see if she can give me and give us a little bit more insight of what happened to Melody, if she can. And Bree is the one that solved her niece's case, Kata Scott. And just give me a little bit more insight on what could have happened to young Melody Buzzard. 9 years old. Had a life ahead of her. Graduating high school, prom, college. What did she do at 9? What does a child do? Let me, before we get out of here, I want you guys to hear the world we're living in, to hear mothers. Mothers. This is what's coming out of mothers' mouths. It hurt my feelings listening to these videos. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. This is the one. This is the first one. My biggest fear was having an ugly baby. Now look. Look what the fuck I got. Look at him. He is so funny looking. He got all this hair though. My little girl, she bald head. But his funny looking self, he got all the hair. I didn't want to have no ugly baby. I just knew that it was going to be a 50-50 chance that one of these kids was going to come out ugly because of him. Now look. Now I got to wait for his looks and shit to come in. One minute he look all handsome, and the other minute he look like fucking Alien versus Predator. He need to pick a side. He need to pick it quick. My biggest fear was having. I hate this world. I hate this world so much. She said, I won't trust anyone around my baby. I'm sorry, I'm not even family really at this point. The people need closure. OMG, wow. Bitch, he look like you. Yeah, Kiki. I remember this video I talked about this baby, and he's gorgeous now. More than he was back then. She funny looking. She beating this girl, turn his ass up. On Noelle, you hear me? How could she? Because on something that you carry. On on something that you carried. It was mind boggling to me. Like, you carried this baby. And one thing I could say about my children, I never said I wanted a pretty baby. I just wanted a healthy baby. And I always wondered who they was going to come out looking like, me or him. You get what I'm saying? That's it. I never was one rubbing it. Oh, I hope I have a pretty baby. Please, Lord, let me have a. I just wanted a healthy baby, a living baby. And that baby got to one day go back and look and see this. I know, Miss Loki. I know, Tom Ward. I'm sorry, this is why I'm putting my baby in. Yeah, it's too evil. Right, Wardrick. Hey, Happy Life. That's so messed up. He looked like her. Yeah, all because she hate the father. Probably. Something's always going on in the world. Yeah, Happy Life. It's sad. It is. Well, I would be worried if I knew her hitting that baby like that and saying that, shaking my head. Girl, let me let y'all hear another one. When did we start losing like this? That's probably the question I got. When did not being a mother be so happy? I don't know. And when did we stop being okay to not be okay and say, hey, I can't do this? Versus unaliving your kids, talking to your kids crazy, doing all this crazy shit, calling your kids bitches and shit online. And I never seen so much hate against our own kids until recently. And I never seen it. Like, it's weird watching it. You get what I'm saying? I
Today's the day that I get to drop my daughter off for the rest of her life. I can't really say that I feel sad about it. I really don't care. I gave up custody of my kid. I put her up for adoption. She's 7 years old. Oh, sorry, I just literally just woke up. She's going to school. I'm about to drop her off to her last day of school. I have to take her to. And then the adoptees are picking her up from the school pickup line. And yeah, I'm a free woman after that. I'm selling my house. I'm buying an RV. I'm about to travel the world. I'm pretty excited. I have been like waiting for this moment my entire life, ever since I had her, and I was being guilty and not giving her up just because like I felt like as a mom you're not supposed to give your kid up. But then I had to.
She woke up and said, I'm so happy. Today's the day. It's the last day I ever see my 7-year-old daughter. I'm dropping off at school. Her adoptee parents will be there to pick her up. Who I'm selling my house, and I'm about to give me an RV, honey, and I'm about to go live my best life. What? Hey, Sanji, baby. Happy holidays, sister. What? But apologizing to how she's looking to the world. Sorry, guys. I just, yeah, I just woke up, guys. Let me put my hair up. I'm sorry how I'm looking. You're not sorry to the child that you're ready to abandon for the rest of your life, but you're sorry to the world for waking up with sleepy in your eyes. And that means you ain't brushed your teeth, ain't washed your ass, and you want to come online and tell the world how happy you are that you're ready to give your 7-year-old up for a dot. SP, you hear me? Absolutely, goddess. Couldn't be more proud of the baby getting away from her. Time up, I don't know. Absolutely, Latasha. Definitely not a parent. Vixie, you can't make it up. Worse than being bullied by others is bullied by your own mama. Come on. It's like the shit I see online today. The shit I see online today. I hate social media. As much as you can love it because it brings awareness, I hate it so fucking much. how y'all abuse it to abuse your children, to disgrade your children, just to put that type of shit in that, like, just, okay, bitch, if you're giving her up, okay, good, thank you for giving up and not hurting her. But at the same time, why did we have to know that? Why did the world, why did your daughter potentially one day have to even see this video? To see this video, probably scrolling through and just seeing kids being adopted, and boom, there goes her mama that she remember. There goes her motherfucking mama who's worried about what she looks like to us on the internet.
Today's the day that I get to drop my daughter off for the rest of her life. I can't really say that I feel sad about it. I really don't care. I gave up custody of my kid. I put her up for adoption. She's 7 years old. Sorry, I literally just woke up. She's going to school. I'm about to drop her off to her last day of school. I have to take her to, and then the adoptees are picking her up from the school pickup line. And yeah, I'm a free woman after that. I'm selling my house.
Do y'all not know you can be free for the rest of your life if you just, you know what I'm saying, get on some birth control? If you ain't good with condoms, I think get the 5-year plan. Get the shot. You can be free for the rest of the kids, so kid free. I have someone who asked me to write. She is unfit. She didn't want 5 children, all under 6, with one set of twins. It was disturbing for me. She didn't want them at all. I, Sanji, get on birth control. Don't have sex. If you don't want kids, don't have sex. Use protection. But why bring these kids if you know your house is full of rodents and rats and you don't give a fuck about yourself? That's fine. Don't bring kids into this shit. Don't. Miss Loki, kids are suffering for adult decisions. Being unalived, being degraded. It's so much. Ain't no telling Kiki. He probably ain't shit either. He can't be ain't shit. He just can't be shit. To lay up with somebody like that, you don't just act like that out of the blue. You've been like that. This job is becoming too much. People are different than I've ever seen. Sanji, I'm trying to tell you. I'm, tr- I'm trying to tell y'all. But y'all go enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday. Remember, losing a loved one never gets easy for those that lost loved ones. This holiday season, I want to get into a story about the 6-year-old who lost her life down here in North Carolina on Christmas. It's kind of hard. But I know my purpose. At least I think I know my purpose. And my purpose is to keep these names alive and let the families know that there is somebody out here that cares about your child's story. I don't care how old it is. Like the story in 1955, I want to share it, even if it's just for a moment. You know what I'm saying? To give me a little closure, not the closure that y'all deserve, but for me, something that's heavy here for me. I want to express it and tell their story. To the best of my ability with the utmost respect to the families. They deserve for their name to be shared and their stories to be shared. Have a good one, y'all. Yeah, because the kids didn't ask to be here. You decided to bring them here. Absolutely, Latasha. She said everyone's not meant to have children. Yes. And y'all know the holiday season, losing Loved Ones is even worse. It's all worse. It's all bad, but it's just something about them holiday seasons that just hit crazy different. Hey newbie, hey, how you doing? Happy Saturday and happy holidays to you and your family. Yeah, I'm going to relax for the rest of the day. I will see y'all back tomorrow at 8:30. Matter of fact, I'll see y'all back a couple of times tomorrow. If you are going out to enjoy the day with the kids before they go back to school, check out Wicked. I love the message. I love the movie. I do. It's a message in there that really, really counts. And it's that regardless, I don't care how good you might think you're doing in life, to somebody, you're not doing enough. You're not doing good at all. And what we can do um, to overlook those kind of people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the message was in Wicked. So she said, hey, I might as well be bad. That's all. As much good as I try to do, spread awareness and tell people to stop lying. Because that's what it was. She was like, can y'all not lie? That's all I'm saying. You don't have to lie to the people to get them to like you. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. And the girl didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, you don't do magic. Like, stop using these people and manipulating these people. And they couldn't stand that. Even her own sister. And she told her own sister, like, even if I do this for you, it's never enough. So I loved the message because I thought it was going to be something different. But the message was great. And the kids need to hear this. The kids definitely, shit, I think the adults do. Because sometimes we worse than the kids. And that's where the kids get it from us. So it's definitely a good one like that. It's also some good movies on Tubi and stuff that I've been watching. Shout out to Royalty over there in the Mo 3 sector. She's turned me on to some good movies on Tubi. Seven Deadly Sins. I've only watched Lust. It has Curry Hilson and Tank in it. They're really good. They have Envy, Rad, and another one. So I'm going to try to check those out today and stuff like that. It's just one of those days. If you're going to go out, stay bundled up. It is a pretty day for some of us. For those that's getting snow, I hope y'all got everything y'all need. Flashlights, still stay safe out there, guys. And regardless what the weather looks like, stay bundled up, stay safe, keep hand sanitizer because it's all kind of stuff going on out there. The flu is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Kiki said, yes, I'm on bed rest. Oh, Kiki, you want baby girl, take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Take it easy and listen to what the doctor is saying. She said, Tubi it is, yes, and Netflix. When I watch my movies on my phone or my tablet, I watch on 1, 2, 3 movies. 1, 2, 3 movies. It takes you to everything. I just watch Power, of course. Yes, I'm a Power type of girl, so I'm caught up. And I'm mad at 50 Cent for making this the last season of that for Tommy. I'm right emailing. I'm fixing to email 50, and we're gonna have a clash. She thought him and Diddy was going through it, but yeah, it's gonna be us going through it about this last season of Power. But he has some spin-offs coming up, so if y'all want to watch something interesting and stuff, or if y'all into Power already, because you probably got to be into it already for real to get what I'm talking about if you're watching it or whatever. But it's a lot of good movies on Netflix as well, so check out some good ones on Netflix and stuff. I'm over the Diddy documentary. Everybody's done talked about it, so I'm so over it. I'm waiting on some new series to come out myself, and I'm ready to check out a couple of more movies on my 1, 2, 3 app. So it'll keep me busy throughout the night and stuff like that. Just wanted to give you guys some recommendations that was given to me. I hope you guys had a blessed holiday, and I hope you guys continue to have a blessed weekend. Don't forget to pull over me tomorrow. I'm doing my baddie reactions and stuff. So if you're watching the baddies, pull up on your girl. I'm gonna do it on my main channel and get my baddie reaction because girl, the baby, the man, the bitches are out of control, baby. You know what I'm saying? The bitches are out of control. I must say that in the T is 10, honey. Lemmy got a lot of shit going on with the girls. And Lemmy, I'm so disappointed in some of the stuff that the girls are saying in real time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you gotta be mindful of signing up for these shows and what we putting out there to the universe. We argue with We are with you in your purpose. Thank you, SP. Yes, watch Leave the World Behind on Netflix. Okay. Me and my husband have the flu. Oh, Miss Low, keep praying for you. Alicia has the flu. Her daughter just got over the flu. So praying for y'all. Praying for y'all. Alicia said it's a pill, but it's $100 at Walmart and it clears you up in a day. But it's $100 and insurance does not pay for it. Of course it doesn't. Anything that's gonna help us, you can't get it. But it's $100 at Walmart. She said that it was like they never had it. She said, feel better, low key, saying with my sister and husband. Praying for your sister and her husband, SP. I hate that for you guys. They said it's the super flu and stuff like that. So I don't want it, y'all. I can hear my little stuff getting all messed up and stuff. And I'm just like, so I'm trying to I'm trying to be as safe as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because the flu is no joke. It will take your life, honey. It will if you don't get the proper care that you need for it and stuff. Y'all stay hydrated. Miss Loki, please stay hydrated. And looking to see what you can get. We have to be watch movies all day for free. Yes. And don't forget the 123 movie the 123 movie app. Definitely got some good ones on there. It gives all the latest new movies that's out or whatever. I gotta see what else. It's one more that I want to watch. I gotta get the name of it again, but it looks like it's super good. And stuff. I'm out of stuff to say, you guys, until tomorrow, until we see each other again tomorrow. Y'all continue to have a blessed one, and I appreciate